Page 10. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm so delighted to see everybody who's here. I was worried that the rain was going to scare everybody away, but several people have brought umbrellas to make sure that it doesn't rain, at least until maybe we're back safely in our cars. Also, if you are joining us from at home or from abroad, welcome to you, Shabbat Shalom. Again, I am not Rabbi Glasser, nor my Rabbi Englander, nor my Rabbi Bell. I am Joellen Unger. I have the privilege of serving this congregation from time to time as a worship leader, either with or in the absence of our clergy. So again, I welcome you to Shabbat, the Shabbat that we are celebrating on Juneteenth, that we are celebrating in the midst of Korach, the Torah portion, that is all about challenge and rebellion that we'll talk about in just a little while. And maybe you are joining us for Shabbat having had a wonderful week and this is just the end cap to that. Or maybe it was a challenging week and we need some time to just take a deep breath, allow Shabbat to wash over us or to fill us and to reach out to our fellow human beings and connect with them or to connect with the Almighty. So whatever brought you here this evening, we are glad that you are here, and the words of Hine ma tov were that welcome. So we will continue with the kindling of Shabbat lights. We are going to be on page 2 for that. Is there somebody who is feeling particularly lighty today? Anybody who'd like to kindle the Shabbat lights? Linda, you got it? Thank you, madam. We appreciate it. And while Linda's making her way up, on page 3, let's read together as these Shabbat candles. Oh, Leslie's coming too. Never mind. We'll wait. We'll read while you guys make your way up. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. And you have a choice. If you need to gather light to yourself, please feel free to do so as the ladies light the candles, potentially. Ah! Oh, no. Oh. Or we can spread the light, but very gently so we don't blow out the match. There we go. So do the rabbis have this problem that the matches don't light? Okay. So this is not a me issue. This is an all of us issue. Okay. Okay. New matches. Okay. And we join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you very much. We'll continue on page 7. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? the joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished? Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Together, help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time, contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. And if you'll join me on page 20 and 21, we will greet the Sabbath bride with the words of Lecha Dodi. Lecha, lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha, lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela, la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'diborecha, Hishmi'anu el hamiyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'litchila, la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nilcha, Ki hi mekor ha-baracha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat chila, la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Hitoreri, kiva orechu miuri, uri, shir daberi, kavod Adonai alayich migla, la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. We rise to face the doorway. Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha uvetzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, la 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 dodi, likrat chala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Page 29 at the top. There's one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There's one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. There's one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there's one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. Nivarech, let us bless. Join together in Baruch Hu on the opposite page. Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. La 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 la. Barechu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. La 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 la. You may be seated. We'll join together in the middle of page 30 for the English of Ma'ariv Aravim, our prayer that talks about the changing between the day and the night and the day, as the tides roll and roll and roll. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the season, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai ha-ma'ariv aravim. Top of page 33. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant the Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. And we join together in the watchword of our faith, the Shema, on pages 34 and 35. If it is your custom, I invite you now to rise. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Adonai, Adonai, Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Beautiful. If it is your custom, you may be seated or you may remain standing. We're going to read together in the middle of page 36, the English of the Ve'ahavta. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Page 39. We'll read responsibly. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. Together, the high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea the words of Micha Mocha on page 40. And if you are not currently seated, you may do so now. Micha Mocha Ba'elim Adonai, Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilo, Osef ele Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilo, Osef ele. I had the privilege of running the URJ 6 Points Creative Arts Academy from an idea on a piece of paper all the way through its first several summers, even through COVID. And every night we would gather in a circle, the entire camp, and we would sing the words of Hashkivenu that can be found on page 43, but the English and Hebrew version that was created by Dan Nichols. So if you know it, I invite you to please sing along with me. If you don't, this is one of those moments where you could just let the shelter of peace spread over you. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim. Thank you. That brings me back to camp a little bit. I appreciate that. Page 45. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. And we rise together in body or in soul for the Amidah beginning on page 46. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufia gitehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Horid hatah, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayeh emunato lishenei afar. Michamocha ba'al gevurot, umido melach, melech memid, umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yehulucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. And I invite you for silent meditation this evening to leaf through the pages between page 53 and 62, where we'll join back together when I see everyone is concluded and is seated and has a moment for themselves. You have a number of different prayers, avodah, hoda'ah, shalom, tfilat halev, a series of prayers of thanking and asking and blessing and peace. So I invite you to leaf through those pages on your own. And when you are finished, please feel free to be seated. Ose shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen, ve'imeru, 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 amen. Ose shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen, ve'imeru, 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 amen, amen. We know the world is a broken place, and we know that it's filled with broken people struggling to become whole. We know that there are people facing illness and pain, and we know that there are people who will never recover from what ails them. And we take a moment now to hold in our hearts those people who are in need of a little bit of healing, a little bit of hope as we share their names either in our hearts or out loud. And I ask you also to remember the caregivers who are providing that emotional or physical support for the ones that they love. They also need our support and our healing and our blessings. So if there's a name that you'd like to share aloud, I'm left-handed, so I'm going to start to the left.
Annette Beecham, Terry Carey.
Yeah. Thank you, please. Thank you. Bless you. David.
Charles Sellon, Mitchell, John Mitchell, Sam Zucker, Susan Popial, Larry Reed, Mary Lou Boyer, Ray Halpern, and Noah Hale.
Thank you. And Micah Unger. We join together in Misha Berach, Debbie Friedman's version on page 253. Misha Berach Avoteinu Mikor habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Before creating Sports Night, The West Wing, and The Newsroom, Aaron Sorkin wrote the screenplay for The American President, a film directed by the late Rob Reiner. Without revealing too much of the plot, there is a pivotal scene in the Oval Office where a heated disagreement unfolds. An advisor, Louis Rothschild, played by Michael J. Fox, is passionately pressing his argument to the president, played by Michael Douglas, when he is interrupted by the chief of staff, played by Martin Sheen, who would later go on to play President Bartlett. "The president doesn't answer to you, Louis," the chief of staff scolds. "Oh, yes, he does," Louis replies. "I'm a citizen. This is my president, and in this country, it is not only permissible to question our leaders, it is our responsibility." And no, it is not going to be that sermon. This exchange captures a tension at the heart of every healthy community. When does principled accountability become destructive dissent? The question is not whether leaders may be challenged, but how, why, and to what end. It is a question that echoes far beyond the halls of government and into the wilderness of the Torah itself. Parashat Korach presents one of the Torah's most dramatic challenges to authority. Korach rises up against Moses and Aaron with a powerful claim. The entire community is holy. Why do you elevate yourselves above the congregation of God? At first glance, Korach's argument sounds compelling. He speaks the language of equity, fairness, and shared holiness. And that raises an uncomfortable question. Was Korach entirely wrong? After all, Judaism, as well as Aaron Sorkin, believes leaders are not beyond criticism. Abraham challenges God over Sodom and Gomorrah. Moses questioned God repeatedly. The prophets rebuked kings. The Talmud is built on argument and disagreement. Judaism itself is not a tradition of blind obedience. So, if questioning authority is sometimes holy, why is Korach remembered as the symbol of destructive rebellion? Because the Torah is teaching us that there is a profound difference between holding leadership accountable and tearing leadership down. The difference lies not only in what we say, but why we say it. Korach's rebellion was not truly about justice. It was all about ego. The Midrash tells us Korach was hurt and angry that he was not given a position of loftier leadership. His language sounds noble, but underneath it masks resentment and ambition. And that's why his movement becomes so dangerous. When accountability is rooted in responsibility, it strengthens a community. When defiance is rooted in ego, it destroys a community. There is a striking contrast in the Torah between Korach and other figures who challenge leadership. Earlier in the Torah, Yitro criticizes Moses' leadership structure and tells him, what you are doing is not good. Yitro, his father-in-law, is right. Moses listens, and the system changes. The nation becomes stronger. Yitro challenged Moses in order to help him, and ultimately, it led to the success of the Israelites. Korach, on the other hand, challenges Moses in order to replace him. One comes from humility, the other comes from self-interest, and that distinction matters. Leaders are human. Institutions make mistakes. Accountability is necessary, but there is a difference between accountability and permanent outrage. Accountability asks, how do we improve? How do we make leadership more ethical and more responsible? Defiance for its own sake asks, how do we delegitimize? How do we humiliate? How do we tear everything down? One builds trust, the other corrodes it, and communities cannot survive without trust. The Mishnah later says, any dispute, machloket Hashem shamayim, a dispute for the sake of heaven will endure, and any dispute not for the sake of heaven will not endure. The example of a dispute for the sake of heaven is Hillel and Shammai, no strangers to arguing with one another. The example the Mishnah gives of a dispute not for the sake of heaven is Korach and his followers. And notice something remarkable. The Mishnah does not say Moses and Korach. It says Korach and his followers, because Korach was not truly interested in dialogue. He surrounded himself with people who amplified outrage rather than pursuing truth. A disagreement for the sake of heaven still sees the humanity on the other side. It still values the community. It still seeks truth more than victory. That is why Hillel and Shammai could disagree passionately and still respect one another. Korach, by contrast, turns disagreement into division. And perhaps this is one of the greatest spiritual dangers in any generation, confusing rebellion with righteousness. Not every act of resistance is moral. Not every challenge to authority is courageous. Sometimes confronting leadership is an act of justice, and sometimes it is simply anger wearing the veil of principle. The Torah asks us to examine not only our arguments, but our motives. Am I speaking because I genuinely want what's right, or because I need to win? Am I trying to improve my community or punish the people I resent? These are difficult questions, but they are also holy questions. At the same time, the story also reminds leaders of something important. Leadership is never ownership. Moses himself models extraordinary humility throughout this parsha. He falls on his face repeatedly. He does not cling to power. He pleads for the people even after they rebel against him. True leadership is not domination. It is service. And perhaps that is the balance the Torah wants us to hold. Communities need accountability because leaders are human, but communities also need humility, trust, and shared responsibility, because endless cynicism destroys the possibility of collective life. The challenge is learning how to disagree without destroying one another, to criticize without denigrating, to challenge without seeking chaos, and to pursue justice without losing our humility. May we all learn to speak with courage when accountability is needed. May we learn to examine our own motives with honesty and humility. And may all of our disagreements truly be machloket Hashem Shemayim, for the sake of heaven. Shabbat Shalom. We will continue with Aleinu on page 282, and I invite you to rise as the ark is open. may be seated. Page 291. There are stars up above so far away we can only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with the people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, those are the ways we remember. This Shabbat, we are in Shiva for Lauren Umansky, Shloshim for Ruthie Silver, and this is the yard site of the following family community members: Lillian Bailey, William Bill Baker, Sidel Ballenberg, Maurice Bartley, Hannah Barwald, Wayne Bellard, Rita G. Benjamin, Robert Bono, Mary Cloth, Shirley Cohen, Gertrude Goldberg Cohen, Rosalie Coleman, Barbara Datz, Seth Davidow, Ivan M. Diamond, Alta Fishman, Joel A. Gelman, Sarah Gorman, Lillian Green, Dr. Mickey Greenfield, Myron Greenspan, Ricky Allen Gutnick, Bruce Kane, Jerry Katz, Hyman Conowitz, Alice Landis, Samuel Lazarus, Sam Lesser, Leona Max Levin, George List, Captain Herman Paul Lutz, Pauline Mack, Benjamin Mack, Betty Moss, Herbert S. Osofsky, William C. Outen, Evelyn Rashkin, Mary Reeders, Jonathan N. Roth, Leonard Sanders, Sadie Silverstein, Florence R. Stark, Ruth Bearson Stein, Joseph Traumer, Donna Lynn Wolfson, Saul Wolfson, Milton Yells, Bessie Udilson. If there is a name that I accidentally mispronounced or that was not on our Kaddish list, and you'd like to share that name with the congregation, I ask you to please let me know as I look around the room. We join together in Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. I invite the congregation to please rise. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah Barach Le'olam Olmei Olmaya Yid Barach V'yishtabach V'yid Pa'ar V'yid Romam V'yid Naseh V'yid Hadar V'yid Halev V'yid Halal Shemei Dekudsha Brichu Le'elam Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tush B'chata V'nechamata Da'amiran Be'alma V'imru Amen Yehi Shalama Rabbah Min Shemaya V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel. And we all say amen. You may be seated, and it is my pleasure to once again welcome to the Bima Jonathan Richmond to share some announcements with us.
Shabbat Shalom. I do feel like most of us were here last week. And the announcements are just as short. Thank you, Joe Allen, for leading us again in services tonight. And thank you, Lydia, for the beautiful music. We're so lucky to have you both, not only to lead us in services, but just as a member of our community. Such a treat every time we get to spend time with you, Joe Allen, so thank you. I'm Jonathan, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees, we're delighted to welcome you to Temple for Shabbat. The office will close at 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 3 p.m. on Fridays until the end of summer. The office will be closed Monday, June 22nd. If you need anything from our staff, please leave a voicemail and to send an email for that day for a more prompt response. Don't forget to enroll your children in religious school, complete enrollment before July 1st, and receive no processing fee. Tomorrow, Joe Ellen Unger will lead Torah study at 9 a.m. Shabbat Shalom.
So if you didn't hear enough about Korach, join me tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Right, 9 o'clock? Okay, I just want to make sure I'm where I'm supposed to be at the right time. That would be embarrassing for everybody. I told you last week I was left unsupervised, so sometimes all bets are off. But as I was left unsupervised, I took the liberty of moving the prayer for the state of Israel to the end of the service. So I'll ask you to join me on page 374. And I'd like to first look at the English, for which I'm not going to ask if people would rise, but when we get ready to actually sing Hatikva, our national anthem for the state of Israel, I will ask you to rise if you are comfortably able. But let's look at the English together at the bottom of the page, so please join me. So long as within the inmost heart a Jewish spirit sings, so long as the eye looks eastward, gazing toward Zion, our hope is not lost. The hope of 2,000 years to be a people in our land, the land of Zion and Jerusalem. And now I ask you to rise. כל עוד בלב פנימה נפש יהודי הומייה ופתה מזרח קדימה עין לציון סופיה לא אבדה תקוותנו, התקווה בת שנות 2000, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים.